is the Glass Cannon Network.
Hello, Naish. Welcome to the show called Haunted City. My name is Jared Logan, and I'm the GM of this great game.
Sound like a terrible weekend track.
We're playing Haunted City. We're playing Haunted City. We're playing Haunted City.
I was trying to find the pattern, and I was like, "Is it It's Mario."
That was so good. I really like that.
I mean, that was perfectly. It was perfect, Mario. Why did it take you a second to figure it out?
I don't know, man. I'll tell you, I was thinking this guy's playing the weekend. Like, there was a real weekend vibe about it. And then when you said we're playing Haunted City, that's when it landed.
We're playing Haunted City.
There you go. That was good, man.
Yeah, guys, welcome to Haunted City, the show that, if you think about it, is a lot like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
We're playing
I agree.
Blades in the Dark. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt with the credits of the people that created this incredible game, Abu.
Wow.
Blades in the Dark, created by John Harper and Evil Hat. Get yours wherever fine role-playing game manuals are sold. It's the best role-playing game created in, well, ever. And I'm sorry, I did interrupt you, Abu. What were you about to say?
No, it does. It just totally makes sense. I was making a joke, but you know what I was thinking about just then when you said, like, you know, it's an actual really good game. It actually is a really good fucking game. Like, I was trying to, you know, I was explaining it to a friend of mine. Like, oh, what do you do? You know, every Thursday night, and I was like, well, you know, play Blades in the Dark. They're like, what's up, mate? And I'm like, well, it's this really cool role-playing game. And I was like, I could actually get anyone else like in it. You know what I mean? It's easy to explain. Yeah. You don't have to like roll like 20-sided dice, 12-sided dice, 8. So like, it's none of that. I mean, like, not that it's bad. Like, I still play D&D, but the point is that this is just so much more accessible. And it's like, it's a brilliant game. And I've got to say, like, it's one of those games which I think more people should play.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know, I'll also say, like, sometimes when a game is this sort of freewheeling where you can kind of make stuff up on the fly, sometimes the rules don't seem quite as in other games. Sometimes the rules don't seem quite as specific and rigorous and challenging in a game that's a little bit more of a storytelling game. But in Blades of the Dark, they do feel all of those things where they are, you feel very supported by very strong, specific rules. So it's really kind of a perfect kind of mix of the narrative, imagineering, storytelling, and the dice rolling and the record keeping and all that other good stuff people like from role-playing games. It's the perfect game, much like a Nintendo game that I think we all know.
Yes.
The Super Mario Brothers, of course.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What's everybody's favorite game of all time other than Blades of the Dark, which is definitely your number one? And it can be a role-playing game, a board game, a video game, or just one of those games. Just one of those games we play with each other. Just name one, Josephine. Quit complaining and name a fucking game.
So hard. Why would you do this to us? It's Final Fantasy X for me.
There you go. I love Final Fantasy X. Is that the one where they're kind of running around on the beach the whole time and it's the guy with the yellow hair and you find out that there was an ancient society that released holograms that... Well, I can't really quite explain the background, but...
Yeah, this sounds like a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Final Fantasy X rocks.
That's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know this about me, Jerry. Like, I haven't really devoted myself to a video game that was manufactured after the year 1998.
Sure.
Wow.
I'm just not a video gamer like that. And I also am not a big like board gamer like that. That's not because I don't like them. It's just because I haven't like had the the conversion experience. I love these tabletop role-playing games.
Okay. We're going to play some board games. I just realized that I didn't know this about you. And
yeah, but I mean, I could also say but I got mods for a computer, and I was like, I want to rediscover some 90s nostalgia, and I played through Final Fantasy. I guess it was released as 3, but also 6.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And the part that really won me over is that there's a whole chunk in the middle where you have to perform an opera.
Yes. What is the name of that character? Ceres, the woman in white who has a really incredible. Her special ability is if someone uses magic on you or power on you, she can throw it back at them. She's awesome. Yes, I played that one growing up for many days and hours, so I remember it pretty well. There's the Sabin, the guy who does martial arts, and you have to put like a
you put a code in.
Down. Yeah, you put a code in to have him do his special maneuvers.
There's a ghost train kind of chapter, and the ghost train turns monstrous, and you can fight it. And if you put in Sabin's code, he can suplex the locomotive, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
Jared, you sound like a very big Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah.
I am a huge Final Fantasy fan, but much like Ross, like I think around 10 is when I stopped playing the series.
Right.
So that's a while ago. What is that, 2000?
Yeah, there have been many.
Yeah. So
we're on 16 now.
I've played all of them since.
Yeah.
Have you played 16?
I'm playing it right now.
Isn't it great?
It's so good.
So good.
Okay.
So good.
Good.
I tell you, part of the reason I haven't gotten more into video games is because I fear it. I fear that I will like it too much.
Oh, that's
I'll lose myself.
That's reasonable, yeah.
That's what will happen.
That's the thing.
I'm going to jack into the mainframe and leave my wetware body behind and become a creature of the webscape.
Abu, you're a connoisseur. What's your favorite game? And remember, it can be a board game or a role-playing game, or it can be a video game. It could be whatever you want it to be.
You know what? Actually, okay.
Oh
if it's that open, nothing beats Solitaire.
Oh wow! Okay.
Like genuinely, like it's the first app I always download whenever I get a phone, and it's like it's one of those games that has like stayed by me because it was the first game that my mum actually taught me how to play. It was my dad. My dad, well, both really, because my mum loves Solitaire. It was like one of those games which was just, and I remember my mum told me, and I don't know whether this is real or not, like apparently she was like, yeah, the ancient Egyptians used to play it, and every time they did it, and if they won the deal, they'd make a wish. And so every time, like if I win a deal, I always make a wish. So like it's like that is like genuinely like it's the game that like I know, like I play video games all the time. I do it all the, like, you know, board games, whatever and whatnot. But like if we were gonna go like favorite game of all time, like it would have to be Solitaire. It's like my go-to game. So
I can see Abu on a desert island beside a shipwrecked yacht with a pack of cards, just playing,
man.
Like growing a beard.
Oh, that's it. That's even better. Like when it's live, when you're playing it with like real cards. Oh, the feeling is fucking great. It's like, and you're just on your own, and you're just doing it yourself. You don't have to worry about idiots. You just do it yourself, and it's so nice, man.
It is satisfying, although in real life, it's not as satisfying as in the video version, where when you finish, the cards will go
and it does it itself. Oh man,
yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. Well, if I had to pick any kind of game, my favorite game to play is flirting with your ex to get you to notice me. I like to play games. I like to play games.
Some people are not about games, but Jay likes to play.
I like to play games.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Oh, wow.
1,000 years ago, this was a land of beauty and magic.
Let's go.
Then came the cataclysm that blotted out the sun and ripped open the gates to the land of the dead. The city of Doskvol doesn't really apply to today's adventure, but it is a metropolis of tenements and factories, surrounded by crackling lightning barriers. Outside the city is a wasteland of the ravening undead. Inside the city is a teeming hive of scum and villainy, intrigue and corruption. Life is cheap in a city ruled by death. The sun is gone. You're in Severos, and the only thing that shines in Severos are the blades in the dark. Yes. Welcome back to Haunted City. We have traveled to Severos in
We're
today's...
on vacay.
You're on vacation. And the situation is thus. I will do a brief recap. After some really momentous events in our series in Doskvol, where characters apparently died, or things got strange. Things got really strange and dramatic. Our crew, the Remnant, has decided to relocate, and we are catching up with them months later, maybe a year later, as they have reestablished themselves in Severos, in the city of Irondale. Severos, of course, being a wild frontier for the Empire. There are some cities dotted around here, but for the most part, the interior of Severos is inhabited and dominated by nomadic horse tribes. And these tribes, Valkos having grown up in one, have their own techniques for dealing with spirits, hunting ghosts, that kind of thing. In Irondale, two of the members of our crew, the two remaining members of our crew, Juliet Belrose and Valkos, have been joined by a new character, Alden Sykes. A slide, right? A slide?
That's right.
Yes. All right. And Alden owns the bar, the Steel Hoof.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steel Hoof is where they've all kind of been hanging out, listening to people play piano, having drinks, kicking back, and getting some rest and relaxation. The only problem is that according to the rules of Blades in the Dark, they don't have near enough coin to retire comfortably. And so they've had to look for other jobs. Alden got in touch with his contact, Vea, a warband leader, or trader, rather. She's not the leader necessarily, but she is a trader. She is one of the Severosi, horse lords. Pardon. And she told you about a man who had started some sort of colony out in the interior, a man from Akaros named Fabio Boltzmann. You guys looked into Fabio Boltzmann, and you learned that he had been conducting some sort of experiments in his fortress out in the middle of the plains here in Severos. He is wanted not only by the horse lords who want to get vengeance on him for killing some of their people, but he is also wanted by the Empire. I'm not sure if you decided to go and grab his bounty for the horse lords or for the Empire yet. Maybe you're still undecided. Most likely, Abu will suggest somehow doing both, which is impossible, Abu. Don't even suggest it. But regardless, you got out there. Alden Sykes did a very good job of getting inside by professing to give himself over to Fabio Boltzmann's experiments. He opened a door for Juliet and Valkos to get in. Once inside, they had to take down some guards. The guards managed to raise an alarm. Meanwhile, Alden Sykes had learned that Fabio Boltzmann is completely and irrevocably insane. He was talking about transforming people into animals so that they could get animal meat, which would make them stronger so that they can start a space program. He is, in the parlance of our times, kooky dukes. So, as he discovered that, Alden Sykes was then told that he was going to have to put on an obedience collar, this sort of collar that Fabio Boltzmann uses on the beastmen that he has created to sort of, discipline them. But just then, Juliet and Valkos, the alarm was raised about them. All of the guards rushed out, and we left at a particular moment. Using a flashback, Ross Bryant had the other horse lords from the Bear Tongue Warband show up outside of Fabio Boltzmann Fortress. This distracted the soldier that was about to put the collar onto Alden Sykes, and Alden Sykes turned the tables and was about to try to put the collar on him. So let us return to the weird sort of stables here in the Boltzmann compound. Let's return to Alden Sykes. The guy is holding a collar out, about to snap it onto your neck. Suddenly he hears the hooping and hollering of nomadic horse lords outside of the fort, and he goes, "Ah, shit! Ah, they're here!" And that is when it is your opportunity to try to slap the collar onto him. We are jumping right back into the score. What action are you going to use to turn the tables on him, Alden Sykes?
I am going to resort to something in my loadout. We didn't mention being searched. I came in normal, so I am going to pull a pistol on him.
Very good. So when he turns back from where he is listening to the attack that's happening outside, he sees a gun barrel pointed at him.
That's right. Alden is in loose white linen. There's a Victorian-looking dark wooden-handled pistol right in his face, and he's kind of daubing the sweat off of his brow, putting his handkerchief back in his pocket. It's like, all right, friend, let's have that then.
He doesn't want to get shot. He hands over the collar.
Very wise indeed. So, let's see just how obedient Mr. Boltzmann is able to make these beasts, eh? And I will put the collar on this guy.
Okay. He's angry, but he's not saying anything. He's just sweating and holding onto it and looking at you with contempt.
Okay. Now the actual is there anything I've seen of where the controls for this is? The collars?
You saw Fabio Boltzmann use like a ring.
A ring. Okay. So
or maybe it was a medallion, but anyway, it's on Boltzmann.
Okay, great.
Boltzmann left when the guards ran out. There were a lot of guys in here, but they all ran out to investigate what was going on outside.
Great. I'm going to okay, great. So he's got that on. And I will this area is kind of enclosed where all the cages are.
That's right. You're in an indoor, it's almost like a stables. Maybe that's originally what it was intended to be, but now it is a series of pens with iron barred gates. And I can tell you that now, because of the hooting and hollering outside, all of the creatures, are the humanoid beasts that are trapped in here, have begun getting really excited, and now they're all going or like or like and they're like all of these like furry clawed but almost human hands are grasping at the bars and shaking them.
Okay. I'm now that the full scope of the tableau is painted so beautifully in my mind's eye, I'm kind of pivoting on this plan a little bit. Because I want this collar. I want it in my inventory. I don't want it just on this guy. So I'm going to take something else off of my inventory. Things are going down, but this one I get for free. Trance powder. I'm going to knock this guy out.
Okay. You have the gun on him, right?
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and say you can use trance powder on him. No problem.
Okay, he's tranced. He's entranced.
What do you do? Stuff it in his mouth? Put it under his nose? You have the gun to him? You tell him to take it? What do you do?
Yeah, I've got it. You mentioned a ring. I think I've got it in a ring also.
Yeah.
It's like, nice and easy there, friend. You just take a nice deep breath, settle your nerves a little bit, eh? As I hold the ring up to him. It's got an opal on it.
Yeah, he tries to hold his breath for a little bit, but that gun barrel is, staring him down, and finally he goes,
Now you just go right to sleep there. Great.
And he starts to slump down.
And I will set him down right next to the bars of one of the cages. So if one of those angry beasts is able to get its arms through, maybe they can grapple him. And I will take the collar and move out to try to find Boltzmann.
Okay. So having detached the collar, you look back just for a second and you see like 3, so it's multiple creatures. Their arms with like long claws reach out and grasp onto the sleeping form of the guard, and his eyes kind of like narrowly open for a second, and then all of a sudden like boom, boom, boom. They're like trying to like rip him through the bars back in. But you have already left.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of muttering to myself, nature is murder, red in tooth and claw.
All right.
And away I go.
Meanwhile, Juliet and Valkos, you managed to hide and escape the guards before they got to you. The guards you initially took down set up an alarm, and a bunch of people came running, but you guys managed to hide before they got here. And I can tell you that now, because there are Severosi outside attacking, they think the alarm is because of them. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So let me see how lucky they are in finding like the corpse of the guy whose throat you slit. Let's see. Okay, they are pretty lucky about that.
Didn't we drag the body into the bushes?
No, I created. So
moved Mr. Schwarzenegger.
Well argued. Okay. You did crit. What's wrong with my voice today?
The luck is not there, you know.
You did crit. You did crit. So I'm gonna say a crit. I think falls. You guys are saying you dragged the bodies off into the bushes, right? Okay. I think that was a yes. So
yes.
I still think I just rolled a 6 on the fortune die.
Yeah, well, I rolled 2.
Okay.
Sorry, no, you do your thing, man. I get it. It's fine.
You're making very good arguments in a very strange way. But what I will say is that in the balance of things, I think they do find the body in the bushes. But you guys are already gone, so you have not been discovered. And they're sort of confused. Most of them are heading to those slits that lead, that allow them to fire out of the fort and are firing on the Severosi outside.
We are fully playing Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Over here.
Yep. So what are you going to do next?
So just remind me, our goal, though, what we've been requested to do, is to capture him and bring him back to the city, right?
Alive to the Severosi.
Okay, in the bush as we're moving, it's like, what if we present ourselves as his security to get him out?
Security?
To get him to safety.
You'll probably have more of a chance of doing that. I'm Severosi. I'll let you do the talking.
Okay. Do we need to get... No, they were not in uniforms. Okay, great. There were no uniforms or anything on the guards.
Yeah, there's no uniforms.
There were no uniforms. So are you looking for him?
Yeah. Do we see him?
Are you trying to sneak up on him? Or are you trying to just walk out and say hello?
I think it's. I mean, in the fray of the chaos, I believe that we can probably try and find him in the madness of it all. You know?
Yeah, like sort of running around and sort of coming up
to him.
Right behind him.
You do find him, and what you see is that there are 4 of his men rushing him back to the central complex. The central complex is a place that Alden would have been inside. It's where his sort of weird throne room was.
Oh, okay. Well, throw that plan away.
Okay, I'm like, new plan. I'm gonna go and take the guys out. If you have anything to kind of knock him out, use it. And I'm just gonna charge for this guy.
Okay, you charge for him. 4 guys push him, behind like a supporting column and pull their rifles. And because you're sort of charging across the courtyard here, you didn't say that I'm sneaking up or that I'm being careful. So because you're sort of charging around the courtyard, that means that 4 guys can open up their rifles on you. And if they hit you, Valkos, they are going to give you a level 3 harm and take you out of the score.
Well, technically it would be a level 2 because I'm tough as nails, right? And penalties for harm are 1 level less severe because of the new ability I have. Good sir.
Wow, 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 wow.
You should have told me that after I hit you with 4 bullets, but regardless, I bet you don't want to get hit at all.
No.
So the first thing you have to do is just not get hit, okay? So before you can attack, you've got to get past a barrage of fire coming at you.
That's
all right?
fine.
So please tell me what action you're going to use to do that.
I'm going to use Prowl because it's about traversing obstacles and doing that kind of jazz. And I'm going to push myself as well.
Well, you're going to probably need to because I'm going to tell you that 4 guys who know you're coming, who all have rifles and are firing on you, means that you have limited effect. So you need to push yourself just to get a standard effect. And get and then keep in mind again, this is only to get past their gunfire, not to attack them yet.
That's fine. And what's the position then?
The position's going to be desperate because you're going to get shot if you fail, and the standard effect is what you've done by pushing yourself. Same amount of die, but you'll get a standard effect.
Can I assist?
Why not? Of course you can.
Could I assist just by sort of throwing a smoke bomb, like so that he can run through that?
That sounds like a cool way to assist. Take the stress that you would need to take, and you can add an extra die of Valkos.
Okay. Here it comes. 4.
4 being the highest. Okay. So success with a consequence. So the success with a consequence, let's see. The consequence is that they now know Juliet is there. They didn't really know Juliet was there before, but now they know that she is there. So there's this big now cloud of smoke kind of filling the courtyard. The winds of Severos are kind of blowing it away. It'll be gone in a moment or two. But right now, everybody's in this sort of cloud of purple smoke that Juliet has unleashed. 2 of the guys are now looking for her. 2 of the guys are still bracing themselves for Valkos, but now Valkos is there on top of them. And so, because Valkos just went, Juliet, you see 2 men that are kind of like, they're commando moving through the smoke toward you, looking for you. They have rifles at the ready, and you need to do something right now or they're going to find you and fire. What would you like to do?
Is Fabio in... Did they push him behind cover? Where exactly?
They pushed him behind cover, but it was just like a supporting column. Like you guys surprised them enough that they weren't able to like squirrel him into a building or anything.
Okay.
May I have moved over to this area by this point?
Ooh! What action did you use to find exactly where the action was? What action did you use to find the action?
I used Prowl to find the action, Jarrett, and I've already had the little tour of this area, so I know it a little bit better, and so I'm almost kind of just stealthily retracing my steps back to this main area, and of course I hear gunfire and see a cloud of smoke.
Of course you do,
True.
And that means that you can go ahead and roll that Prowl action, and we'll see if you're like there and able to help right now.
Great, here we go.
It is. Well, I was going to tell you that it was controlled because no one was on top of you, and for standard effect, you would get there. And the consequence, if you had failed, would be that you were lost or somewhere else in the complex. But you did not fail. You rolled a 6.
I rolled a 6.
So you are there, and you are watching Valkos and Juliet encounter these guys, and no one has a beat on you.
Great. For a 6, I would like to I'm going to try to get the drop on Boltzmann. I want to, if all the attention is directed outward at the marauding bear tongues outside the perimeter, at these 2 interlopers who have come in throwing bombs around, I'm flanking to come in from the back so I can get this pistol right in Boltzmann's back in his hiding place.
Okay, great. Let's come back to you. Juliet, what would you like to do?
I am going to run towards that area as well, but I need to deal with the guns in front of me. 2 of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little with the dart gun.
Okay.
With eye blind poison on each of them.
Eye blind, which I assume makes them blind?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's momentary, but I just need it to be momentary as I run by. So
you're
they
like,
don't
smoke
shoot
bomb.
me.
Oh, you can still see? Poison.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So, let's see. What action are you going to use?
What? Tinker.
Okay, that's fine. You're using your tinkery tools. Now,
My tinkery tools.
it's gonna be desperate, and it's going to be for limited effect. And here's what that means: desperate because if you don't succeed, they are going to fire on you, and you're going to take some harm.
Okay.
Limited because getting 2 guys that quickly is really tough. You can definitely get 1, but can you get 2 really quickly? You can push yourself and get 2. That's the situation.
Yeah, I'll push myself.
Okay, great.
I'm
Here we
that
go.
cool.
If you fail, they are going to shoot you in the goddamn guts. Let's see how it
Okay,
goes.
so desperate for standard
Desperate
then.
for standard now, yes, because you're pushing yourself. Take that 2 stress.
I took
And
it.
wait, before you do, I'm going to assist.
Okay, great. How are you assisting Valkos?
So I think because I have charged at them, I'm going to sort of now kind of give out a battle cry, my Severosi battle cry, kind of as if, part of the clan. And that should hopefully be a way of distracting them and giving them a sense of like, whoa, and fear. Because again, Severosi kind of battle cry is like a so it's like a fucking like, what the fuck, So that's
I
my
think
vibe.
that's a fantastic way to assist. Go ahead and take the 1 stress and take a extra die, Juliet.
All right. Here we go.
Boom!
6.
Yeah.
There's that 6. There's that 6 you want. Whip, whip. 2 darts fly out of your blowgun and connect with the throats of the guys coming after you. And suddenly they are screaming and falling to their knees. I can't see! I can't see nothing! I can't see! And so they are out of the way. And now let us go back to Valkos. Valkos, you still have 2 guys on you. What do you want to do?
I'm taking them out.
Okay, you're going to just fight them.
Yep.
They are going to try to fight you. Now you're on top of them. They're going to try to just like butt you with the butt of their rifles. Just try to smash your face with that. So it's fighting 2 men at once.
Which is it's a specialty of mine not to be trifled with.
It is, and you might need to use that because I can tell you that they are a higher tier. Just
Okay.
1 tier up from you, so you'd have limited effect, meaning you could take out 1 but not the other.
Okay, but if I do my not to be trifled with, does that standardize it or?
If you use not to be trifled with, that will standardize it.
Okay, and then with my fine hand weapon that I've already got in my arsenal, how does it work with like a fine hand weapon? Does that increase its tier of power or?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it helps you with tier, right? So that means that I could take it from standard to, I think I'm doing this right. Anyway, I think it's fun. That takes it from standard to great effect.
Okay,
Awesome.
let's do it. So
Okay, great. Now you are spending something for not to be trifled with, right?
Yes, I am. I have to spend. I think I have to. It's pushing myself, right?
You have to push yourself.
So it's 2 stress. So yeah.
Okay, so you got it all the way up to great effect with the fine hand weapon. What is the fine hand weapon?
It's again a beautiful sort of decorated Severosi knife, which is just again, I'm sort of making it glow with my Ghost Fighter ability, just to kind of instill fear. But it's you've got these carvings of a Severosi saying, which is basically mercy does not bloom on the soil of the Deathlands, sort of as it kind of goes around. So, yeah.
Holy shit! Just for that, take an extra die. And
man.
I think it also, like, when you move it through the air, it leaves, like, after trails of light,
Yeah.
It looks amazing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't normally give an extra die, but when I hear Mercy does not bloom, I sort of have to.
That
Okay.
works.
Okay, let's hope it works. Let's hope it does it. 5.
A 5.
Okay.
So success with a consequence. You had a lot of die there, but you still got a success with a consequence. I think that the consequence is... let's see. The consequence is that you realize more guys are coming.
Okay.
They are not on top of you yet, but you can hear them behind you right now. Now let's turn to Alden Sykes. Alden, you do have Fabio Boltzmann in your sights. What do you do?
Great. My goal is to get this collar on him and get the controller out of his control. So that we have him tamed, so to speak. So I think I'm going to try to cover the distance between me and him and put the pistol into his back, keep him calm, get the collar on him. That's the goal.
Is your goal to do this stealthily and quietly so he doesn't know you're coming, or is your goal to do it quickly so that he can't defend himself, or a third thing I haven't thought of?
I think now that all-out chaos is playing out, I think he's just going to go for it. So this is a hustle maneuver. So I think this is maybe more of a it's not as strong for me, but I'm going to go skirmish.
Use stats.
Skirmish, okay.
It's hard not being a supernatural powerful being anymore. But
sure.
And speaking to that, like this, I think Alden and Juliet and Valkos have done like small scale little deals. Mm-hmm. This is the first high level score they've been on together, and seeing Juliet like throw a bomb, take 2 people out with a blow dart, seeing the smoke of this bomb like whip around and reveal Valkos drawing this ghostly shining blade and taking these 2 people out. It's just like, these 2 chaotic, reckless, very brave. Who are these people? And as he's clearing the distance, hustling, and I will push myself to get this gun into Boltzmann's back.
Okay, so that's good. I think that you should know that this is going to be... This is going to just be risky for you, because you had set yourself up well, but I know what the consequence is if you fail here, and it's not going to be good, but it's only risky, okay? And you will have, let's see. Oh, I'm going to let you have standard effect, meaning that you will have gotten the collar on him if you succeed in this. How many dice do you have?
I love it. I only have 2 if I do skirmish.
And you've used...
And that's with me, that's me pushing as well.
Okay, great. So he is turning, he's not quite aware of you yet, and you are just running and tackling to try to get this thing around his neck. His big, thick, corpulent neck.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta try to get it around all of his chins. Okay.
Not great odds. Alden is built for slippery wheeling and dealing, not close combat, but he's got a lot of distractions around. Here we go. And he rolls a 6 and a 5.
Yes! Oh my god.
The second it snaps around his neck, you see Fabio Boltzmann's eyes go wide, which normally he squints with beady little pig eyes, but now his eyes go wide, and he goes, ha! Ha! And you realize now, Alden, that you are kind of on top of him, how big he is. We mentioned it before. He's not just wide, he is tall, and he looks down on you, and his face goes red with rage, and he reaches to crush you in his big, thick sausage fingers. But meanwhile, what are Juliet and Valkos doing? Valkos and Juliet, you have taken out your opposition, so you can see what Alden Sykes has just done. And you guys don't have to do like an action right now with a roll. You can kind of decide what happens next. You should just know that it looks like Fabio Boltzmann is reaching to take out our friend Alden.
Okay, Are you muted?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I've got I've got manacles and chain, right? Which is like a free thing that apparently cutters have. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like sort of whip it around my head and go to throw it at him to kind of almost try and like Indiana Jones this shit.
Boloing him
You know what I mean? Like
with some cuffs.
yeah.
Are you trying to actually have the manacles go on him or like trap him and restrain him, or are you just trying to whack him in the head with it?
Well, yeah, I think because I'm seeing, one of my allies about to be, attacked, I think to give them that kind of moment of opportunity with such a big man is to kind of distract him by throwing it at them. I think if it catches on him, that would be fantastic. But I would use a rope for that. But I think with the manacles and chain, it's more of a sense of throwing like heavy chain at this guy,
Okay, that makes sense. We can treat that as sort of either like a setup maneuver or an assist, I think,
Okay.
for how Alden handles it. Let's figure it out in a second after we talk to Juliet. Juliet, what do you want to do?
I wanted to pounce on his back and inject standstill poison into him.
Okay, great. And Alden, what do you want to do?
What am I going to do? If he's coming to grab me.
Yeah, he's coming to strangle you.
I've still got that pistol, baby, but I want to get, to be clear, the controller is a ring or a medallion?
I don't remember, even though I watched the entire episode again, but in the moment right now, I think it's cooler if it's a ring.
And his hands
Naish,
are...
did I get it right? If I got it wrong... Oh, that's the sound of the barking dog, and that means that I got it right. Okay.
The Naish responds.
Yeah. The Naish responds with a barking dog, and I've dropped my pencil. Things are chaotic over here. I'm sorry.
Dog beasts about too?
I didn't free them.
Humanoid.
Now you didn't.
Unless there are others I don't know about.
You
I didn't free them yet. The hand is coming right towards me. He's coming to strangle me with the rings.
Yes.
Or with his ring finger. So I'm going to try to just like crank it up to 11 as it comes towards me.
Okay. You're going to try to crank the ring. Oh, you're going to take the ring and turn it on.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I love all of this. Okay. So, Valkos, is it okay to characterize your action as an assist?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's what I want. I want a controlled for standard effect from our friend Juliet, because he's really dealing with our friend Alden right now. I want a risky for standard effect from Alden Sykes, and spend a stress to Valkos, and Alden will get an extra die.
I love that.
Done it.
Thank you. Here we go. Who's rolling first?
I don't know. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, here we go. 5. Success with a consequence.
Okay.
Success with a consequence. I want to see how Juliet's roll goes, and then
Oh, just a straight up fail.
Juliet fails. Okay. So here's what happens. All right. First, Juliet, when you jump over, Alden Sykes is trying to grapple with Fabio, but he's such a huge dude, and Fabio just swings an arm wild, and it connects right with your face. So you need to take a level 1 harm called Bloody Nose.
Damn.
And having taken that harm, we can say that Alden Sykes, you succeeded, but there's a consequence. And here's the consequence, okay? You managed to grab the ring, and you managed to figure out how to turn the mechanism to turn on the collar, but like you're grappling with him, and it's so chaotic that you just turn it all the way up for a second, and it just goes, and then blows out. So he's like, but it causes him an incredible amount of pain. He get like taking down a water buffalo. He goes, ah! And then just like, boom, hits the ground. But you can tell that the collar has shorted itself out. And now you hear other shouting voices, and you hear boots running toward you guys. What do you do?
Let's get him out of here.
I would like to buy a flashback.
That's a good idea.
I want to shoot a flare to call a friend. I have arranged for a hull to come to get us out of here. I've arranged for a getaway driver, and I want them to come plowing through the gate of this thing to pick us all up and get us the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah. A hull, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll allow that for 3 stress.
And that will take me out of the score. That'll fill my bar.
Okay. That sounds great. Let's learn a little bit more about this hull in the flashback, though.
Fuck?
Let's learn a little bit more about. So a hull, just to remind anybody listening or watching at home, a hull is a mechanical being or device or vehicle that is operated by a spirit that has been trapped within it. It's kind of like a golem, but some of the ones that are in Doskvol, for example, are more like carriages that move of their own volition and things like that. And that is sort of the kind of hull you're describing here. Is that right, Alden Sykes?
That's right. Okay, so can I describe what I'm sort of thinking here?
Yes, please.
Okay, I think there's a whole class of people in the town where we are, where strongbacks are strongbacks, but there's a corrupt economy here of people allowing themselves or family members to be euthanized, put into hulls to be like mechs for transport, to use for like unloading ships, to move cargo across on rail cars, to help with building projects. They're just, it's not like, an anime mech. It's like a very Victorian looking, clunky, square, angular, totally industrial thing. But they enclose the bodies of former people. They work a contract like an indentured servant, and then they are let free. But it's a way for the dead or people to work off a debt. It's awful, and I think that I've approached the someone I know who's a young woman whose brother is one of these, and I can I have some contacts down at the warehouse. I know that the building projects that you've been working on day in, day out, that's the whole thing with the hulls like your brother. They'll work them all day, all night because they don't need to sleep. I can have his contract sped up if I'll work my side of it, have a few years taken off, if you allow me one day of use out there in the Deathlands.
She turns back to the hull that is her brother, and to you it looks like a wagon with sort of this engine on the front, but the front of the engine has sort of it looks like an old timey camera, like the kind you'd have to stand in front of for a long time. And she goes, "He's still in there, you know.
I know.
He still feels things."
I put my hand on her shoulder. I am soft. It's not right what they do to them. Strong back used to be enough. Now they'll take you back for your strong soul. I have a feeling that he's working off that debt so that you can have a better future. Let's make it easier on him, eh?
She walks over to this wagon with a lens on the front, and she caresses it like it's a person. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly a little bit of hydraulics kind of move inside of it, and she looks at you and she says, "He'll do it." But listen to me, Mr. Sykes. Don't call him what they call him down at the docks. 51. Call him by his name. Isaac.
And I love it. I love it. Yes, they can make more money for their family dead than alive. And yet alive, that can only work. I tell you, it's a stretch. Like this, they'll keep them going for weeks and weeks.
Cut back. Sorry, my friend.
No, that's it.
Okay,
Isaac,
I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
I send up a
cut
flare.
back to the fort of Fabio Boltzmann, where all of a sudden, crash! Like a door smashes open into splinters, and this like wagon with like this weird camera on the front comes like careening in. It's got like, it looks like a little bit like a locomotive on the side, so like with arms moving the wheels. It like stops like on a dime, like right beside you, with a big flat bed in the back that you could say lift a very large man onto.
Yeah. Let's get out of here. We load her up.
Alden,
Load him
you
up.
are now out of the score. What does that mean exactly?
I've been overwhelmed by almost being killed a couple times, and also by he's got a soft heart. The cruelty of what's been done to these people, these beast men, and there's part of him that's like, I can't save them all. I've got to get out of here. But they're going to they're going to keep tormenting them in those cages. If we leave them, are they going to starve? There's no way. There's no way to save them all. There's no way to save them all. There's no solution. It can't be done. And once again, like, his participation in this is bringing up like things that he's done in the past. Like, every time I try to be virtuous, I just end up being evil.
Can I just say, like, if we're seeing this happening and I'm seeing this everything going on and I'm seeing you just losing your shit, I'm just gonna knock this guy fucking out and carry him and put him in, and that's just like.
And I think I maybe even look at you like, but we can't leave yet. There's still
just the bottom of my thing, bang, and just carry him over and just lift him and then take him out.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you throw Fabio and first you throw Alden Sykes in. He's easy enough to throw in, but people are coming around the corner and you have to lift Fabio Boltzmann in.
Yeah.
But you are Valkos.
I'll help.
And you did activate not to be trifled with, and you did Juliet helping you. So I think that you heave and you hoe, and you get Fabio Boltzmann in, and you climb onto this weird hull, and people are coming around the corner with rifles. There's a big hole in the side of the fortress. What do?
Well, we just take cover, right?
Yeah, one more smoke bomb. Smoke bomb, smoke bomb, smoke bomb.
The hull makes a wide turn. Bang, 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 bang. Rifles are going off toward you, and we are going to find out what happens when we come back after this ad break. We're back, and we are in the middle of a daring escape from the fortress of Fabio Boltzmann with the body of Fabio Boltzmann. I'm just going to ask you one time before this hull exits the fortress. Does anybody think about what Alden was saying? Does anybody think about those creatures in the cages? You guys haven't seen them.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's sad, but
Yeah. Yes. I think it's like we'll come back. We have to make a better plan for that. We'll come back for them is where Juliet's at.
yeah.
I mean, I kind of like how efficient the Remnant are, where, you know, Alden was like pleading for them and you just knocked him out and threw him on the wagon.
Yeah,
So-
we got a job, man.
Yeah. So
yeah, we have retirement to think about.
Can't get shaky.
Isaac peels out on his cast iron wheels. They have big bolts on them that act as treads. He peels out, putting up a cloud of dust. But right now, the soldiers of Fabio Boltzmann behind you, they're all hopping onto horses. Isaac smashes out through the hole he made coming in, and you are immediately surrounded by members of the Bear Tongue War Band, of which Vea is a part of. And Vea rides up alongside of your moving wagon, and she sees Alden in the back and gives Valkos an inquisitive look.
And I kind of I look at her and sort of say in perfect Severosi, the fairies got him. He had to be. He was silenced, but only temporarily. We have your prize. Help us get out of this, and we will give him to you alive.
The fairies got him?
So it's like in Severosi saying it's not necessarily it's like. I kind of relate it to like my sort of Swahili heritage, where when we say someone like they're away with the fairies, right, or like the fairies have them, it's like they were lost in a bit of a sense of like their own sort of traumatic griefs, and it just needed to be silenced. And I would imagine that the Severosi have something similar, whereas it's not necessarily to say like they have lost their mind, but they have just they're speaking in tongues, and they just needed to have a slap around the face in order to kind of be to put on the right path again.
I just love how shocked, Jared, you were like, am I introducing fairies now? Like.
Ah, yes, the she from the first world. No, I love all of that. The fairies got him is now the official title of this episode, and in addition, our friend Vea immediately understands what you're saying, trusts you because you speak, her language, literally and figuratively. And so you now have the Bear Tongue Warband kind of riding escort to your Hull wagon. And behind you are, let's see, 6 horsemen. How many did the Bear Tongue Warband bring? A warband isn't gigantic necessarily, okay? It's a gang. Let's see how many the Bear Tongue Warband brought. Okay, the Bear Tongue Warband has more. They have like 8 guys with them. So 6 guys are pursuing 8 guys and a wagon that you guys are on. And they are doing that thing where they're like trying to like stop their horses every once in a while and fire on you. You guys are quite a bit ahead because it took them time to go and get their mounts and run out into the Deathlands after you. Is there anything you want to do to try to help your escape?
Absolutely. What ends up happening is I pull out a large weapon, a fine heavy weapon, which is a huge crossbow that I just I'm as I'm talking to the Severosi, I'm sort of assembling this crossbow that was within the hull, and I kind of plant it there and I take aim and I start firing.
I love it. So I'm going to call this risky or standard effect. And it means that you're going to take out one of their 6. And because there aren't a ton of guys following you, taking out any of them severely hurts their morale, if you get my meaning. Because you're already escaping.
Can I change my position for greater effect?
Yeah, sure. Let's make it desperate. So
okay. I'm
going to say that you have to wait till they get a certain distance from you for this thing to be really effective, to be greatly effective. Okay. So the risk here is that if you fail, some guys are going to get aboard your hull.
Okay.
So they're coming up behind you on horses. They've got rifles in their hands, and you are aiming your big crossbow. And what do you do? It's going to be, what do we say, desperate for great effect, right?
And it's going to be, I'm going to use my finesse as a way of kind of trying to take my aim, you know, breathing in. It's that whole Call of Duty, like when you press, you know, when you're down the sniper rifle and you press the L3 button and it goes, holding that whole breath kind of thing. It's a great feeling. And I'm going to do that, and I roll a 6, baby!
Yes!
Oh, man.
Boom! One of your bolts goes right through a guy's head. He goes flying off of his horse. The others rear up their horses. They ineffectually all kind of like stop their horses and bang, 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 crack off shots after you. But you can tell that you have taken the fight out of them. You have escaped with the unconscious body of the insane scientist Fabio Boltzmann.
Damn, I didn't even need to explode them.
Oh, I'm sorry, Juliet. I should have given you an opportunity to explode them.
No, they can live today. Another day.
Okay. Really well done, guys. That is the end of our score. You have encounters in the Deathlands because it's not a safe place, but those are left off camera. If you ever want to mention what happened on the way back, because it was, you know, quite a long trip back, you can bring that into play. But for now, let's just say you, Isaac the Hull, and Vea's Bear Tongue Warband all make it back to Irondale. And once back in Irondale, it is time for us to enter the downtime phase.
Great. Whew.
First, let's begin, before we do anything, by talking to Alden Sykes. Alden Sykes, you stressed yourself all the way out during the score, and you take a new trauma. Tell me about that.
All the way out. Alden is soft because of things that he did in the colonial wars, of intense guilt and remorse that he feels, and he wasn't able to complete this job to his satisfaction either. And then a member of his own party knocked him out, and in a half-dreaming state, he was in the back of this cart, phasing in and out of consciousness as they went through the Deathlands. So you want to say what his trauma is? I think that
yeah, I was going to ask.
As he was unconscious, I think one of the encounters that you're discreetly leaving off camera, if I can just kind of bring it onto camera for a second.
Please, yes.
I think because he was totally unconscious, he was vulnerable to a very particular effect of the Deathlands, which is suddenly there were other people in his dreams, other people dreaming for him as he was unconscious, and maybe even faces he recognized from people that he had dealings with, and because of betrayals died tangentially because of him. And he is now haunted.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's seeing ghosts more than ever, and especially in his sleep. They've gotten into his dreams, and they won't leave him alone.
Oh, no. That is perfect and terrible. Perfectly terrible.
Yeah.
He left the door open for them.
Now, let me move to Juliet and Valkos, because you guys are the ones that are actually conscious and capable enough to kind of deal with the final steps of this job, which is getting paid. Valkos, earlier I believe that you said you were going to turn over Boltzmann to Vea. Have both of you discussed this? Is that definitely what you're going to do?
Yeah, we can do that. It's less money, my dear, but
It's
I
loyalty.
suppose. Yes, exactly.
We'll be here again, I'm sure. And I kind of move close to Juliet, and I'm like, and if I'm to take you around here, well, it's good to have friends in dangerous places.
I agree.
And we are all friends now. Ha Vea gets in way too close with both of you and gives you both a big hug, and then kisses both of you in a way that would be inappropriate and Akaros. And then turns back to where Fabio Boltzmann has been completely chained up and hog-tied by the rest of the Bear Tongue war band. So, what do you think we should do with him?
It is up to you, truly. We have no concern or no idea or no wanting of knowledge to know what you do with this man. We only care for payment. I understand you had a deal with Alden. What was the payment again?
We never talked exact numbers, but please accept these gifts worth at least 3 coin. And she gestures. You're at her camp outside of Irondale. She gestures to a corner of the tent.
I pull Juliet close. Stop. Right, what is she? What are the gifts?
Did you say 3?
She's giving you trade goods worth at least 3 coin, probably stuff that you wouldn't want to use, that you already, but that definitely you could sell and make 3 coin. But in addition to that, she looks at you and says, and you should know that the Bear Tongue Warband now consider you members. You are brothers and sisters in the Bear Tongue Warband, and therefore you are going to get a +1 status with the Bear Tongue Warband, meaning that they are now helpful.
Cool.
Excellent.
3 coin and a +1 status with the Bear Tongue Warband.
Cool. That's fine. I kind of say thank you.
That's fine. Ugh.
Yeah, Juliet's yes, what an honor.
Shall we drink?
Yes, just a question. On behalf of our less conscious friend, do you have any intention to do anything about what was going on in that camp?
What was going on?
I think there were captives, perhaps. We heard strange sounds, and Alden could surely tell you more.
Alden is laying completely quiet, and you can just see his eyes under his closed eyelids, moving back and forth rapidly. He's in deep REM.
Well, the medicine woman of the war band is administering to you, and maybe it's hours later, right? But at a certain point, Alden, if you want, only if you want, you could become conscious, or you could tell us right now that Juliet and Valkos carry off your unconscious body back to the steel hoof.
No, I can. If especially if someone is administering to me, Alden comes out of his unconsciousness after being kind of prayed over and administered some drugs by this woman. Comes out of his unconsciousness with a blood-curdling scream, and stands up as if he's shaking something off him. No, you can't take me back. And
I woke up and I'm like, hey, you're fine.
He cringes away from you.
You're fine. It's all right. You're safe.
Why did you? And he's rubbing his jaw it's a hell of a way to treat an ally.
I understand. But desperate times call for desperate measures. I could see within your eyes, within your feeling, within your body that you wanted to do more, and we were not in a position to do more.
We were losing you.
Someone has to go back there. Do you know what he was doing out there?
I saw, and we will, but not now, Alden. That is a plan for later. Think, we have taken the snake's head. They are weaker. It will take them a long time for them to recoup. We have time, but not now.
The place is cursed. The soil has been tainted by his unholy experiments. But warbands like ours know how to purify a place. Should I take a group and go and purge it of its corruption?
Yes.
What does that entail exactly? Purging it? You said there were captives, right, Alden?
I don't know exactly how he did it, but he's somehow grafted beasts into men.
My love, it is putting them to rest.
But what if I could fix it? What if I can
There is no fixing
research
those
it?
who have gone too far, my love, please.
No, there is no fixing it, Miss Belrose. Here in Severos, we know if a spirit gets into your body and stays there, it makes you into an animal. It is why it is verboten to allow a spirit access to your physical body. It turns you into no more than a beast.
I look right at Valkos.
Yes.
Purify the land then.
If that is the way of this land, so be it.
There are perhaps some forms of life that are a curse. And Alden is like lighting a very skinny, like cheroot cigar and sort of like smoking, and you can tell he's intensely stressed. How long was I asleep?
Not too long. It was fine. You summoned Isaac. If it wasn't for your aid, we would still be stuck there.
Yes, well, it'll be costly. I'll have to forge some documents, make sure that whales are greased till his contract will be shortened significantly.
Yes. Think of the goal ahead.
Well now, why don't we go ahead and cut to you doing that? Alden, you have to somehow get this contract for Isaac the Hull shortened. That feels like a tremendous amount of bureaucracy. It feels like coin must change hand in order to make that happen. How successful are you at doing that? Are you able to keep your promise?
I have to be. I'm gonna sway the right parties.
All right, let's see how your action roll goes. And I'm gonna say that these horrible contracts are so ironclad, pun intended, that you are at limited effect to do it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to spend stress right now, although you have full stress because you already took your trauma and you have downtime activities coming up. Mm-hmm. So you can either take the limited effect, or you can go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and start taking.
I'll spin the coin.
Okay.
It's 3 ways, yeah? 3 ways.
Yes.
Yes.
1 point each.
You know, I have debts around town. I But, these are the deals I made. So, a little association will stay in business a bit longer. And the next, job that we find, perhaps we can make it a little more, lucrative.
Yes.
Please.
And I will, if I can improve my role, I will spend the coin that I made on this to get Isaac's, hull contract reduced.
Okay. So I was kind of doing it like free play. The thing you're suggesting is a downtime activity thing where you can spend coin to improve the effect. Why don't we go ahead and use that downtime activity rule for this free play? So I'm not going to make this count as one. I'm going to make this as like a subsection of payout. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and do that. Yeah, I will allow you to spend coin to do it.
Okay, so this will now be standard effect.
That's right.
I rolled a critical.
A critical.
Oh, yes.
Alden is
soft
stressed,
boy.
but very
Here's what
persuasive.
happens.
And I know many people around here.
Here's what happens. You are now a part owner, which is a horrible thing to say about a being that can still think and feel. But you kind of have taken responsibility for part of Isaac's contract. So you can kind of put things on the schedule for him to do for you now.
Whew. Okay.
His sister Agatha says to you, I heard what you did. You've bought his contract, yes?
I've taken him off the lines. The construction projects out in the Deathlands on the rail cars. We won't be doing those any longer. Won't be the building projects at the port. No more.
So, what will he be doing, Mr. Sykes?
Well, part owner, you understand? The alchemical seals on these hulls take a great deal to break. His contract will be shorter and his work will not be as rigorous. I'll see to that.
Mr. Sykes, I don't know how we can thank you. Would you like to stay for dinner?
No. No. You've done quite enough. Your brother was an immense help. Thank you.
Are you sure, Mr. Sykes? Then she puts a plate down in front of Isaac the Hull and says, he can't eat it, but I like to think he can smell it a little bit.
What?
She puts a plate of food down in front of this big wagon thing. and it goes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is she offering me his portion?
No, she's putting down plates for herself and for her brother. Mm-hmm. Even though he can't eat.
Right.
And is offering you a plate.
Alden feels as though he doesn't deserve it, but because this tableau is so heartwarming, he can't resist. And so he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm a busy man, you know. I've got a club to run. I've got many deals to keep an eye on throughout town. So I can't just be sitting about with everyone I make contact with. But only out of you understand, it's only out of hunger." And he'll sit down and try to make a show of it, him not fighting back tears as he sits down to dine with them.
He's trying to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
They live in kind of like this like kind of high ceiling kind of barn like structure, but it's all one room, and there's like a little kitchen and a bed, and also sort of a workshop where she sort of tightens his wheels and, you know, takes care of rust on him, and you all sit and have dinner. And let us go back to our downtime process. We have dealt with the coin, but have we dealt with...
Take one? Is that what we did? It didn't go.
Yeah, each take
yeah.
one.
Okay.
You didn't. It didn't go onto your cruise sheet. You're each taking one. Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can choose to put that in your stash, or you can choose to keep it in your coin on hand.
Okay.
All right.
My stash.
Yep.
And
Stashing it.
we're gonna add 2 rep to your. Well, let's see. Should it be more than 2 rep? Let's see. 2 rep per score by default. If the target is a higher tier, take +1 rep per higher tier. I think they were like 1 rep.
Yeah, you said they
tier
were one
higher
tight.
than-
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 3 rep for you. And I think that means that it's time to do heat. You know, normally we'd say, do you have to pay up to somebody?
But we're not in Doskvol, right?
Hey, you're not with the Path of Echoes who you were paying up to before.
Yeah.
So
I thought you'd mentioned they had a presence here, though. No, or do they not?
No, that's only with the tunnels, essentially.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
that's okay. So I think that in this particular case, I'm going to say right now, there's no one that you have to pay up to or anything. And I don't think that you're going to get in trouble for it either. I think that we're out in Severos. It is a frontier, meaning the rules and the stratification and the level of complexity to the underworld is not quite as Byzantine. And so right now you don't owe anything to anybody. Okay? Alden sort of took care of what you owed by buying out that Hull's contract. So now let's do heat. All right. So I would say that went pretty goddamn well, guys. All things considered. 2 heat contained standard exposure would apply, except that I want to take some away because you did it way out in the Deathlands away from civilization, right? So it doesn't make sense the Imperial military would be on your ass about it, especially because that's someone they didn't really want operating out there anyway. I'm going to call it 1 heat.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which brings you to 3 heat. Okay.
Okay.
Now, here's where it's going to get tricky, because we have to do entanglements. And we have a whole new environment with a whole new different types of people involved here in Irondale. So we might have to get creative here on who exactly we're talking about. But we've already introduced some NPCs, so maybe we'll be fine. Let's see, you are at heat 0 through 3, and I have some entanglements right here. Why don't you, one of you please roll your, you roll your wanted level. So would someone please roll 1 die for me?
Okay.
Yeah, I can. Or are you doing it?
I can do it.
Go for it.
4.
A 4. Okay. So this is either rivals or unquiet dead.
I mean, it makes sense to do Unquiet Dead, right?
A rival says that a neutral faction throws their weight around. They threaten you, a friend, or a contact. You either forfeit 1 rep or 1 coin, or stand up to them and lose 1 status with them. Interesting.
Wait, say that again. So we either forfeit 1 rep or 1 coin, or
stand up to them and lose a status with them, or unquiet dead. Unquiet dead. A rogue spirit is drawn to you. Perhaps it's a past victim. Acquire the services of a whisperer or railjack to attempt to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself. We know that Alden is haunted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds...
Can you roll though? Decide whether it's a rival or an undead.
Yeah, you want to roll to find out?
One of them, and
1 to 3 1 to 3 rival, 4 to 6 unquiet dead.
Yeah,
sure.
Please.
Here we go.
Flip the coin.
Unquiet Dead. We rolled a 6.
Fuck's sake. Oh,
We can't escape them.
Okay.
Okay, so
I feel like the crew is haunted.
Yeah,
Our sheep needs trauma.
Alden, you guys are all in the Steel Hoof, and Alden hasn't slept in, hasn't really slept in 6 days. You and Alden, like, that's kind of impossible. People die. So
yeah.
You're
like
passing
medicated sleep or something. Like we put him to sleep.
Yeah, you have to
I'm
take
using
some sort
trance powder and like and all kinds of drugs just to do it. But every time I do, it's like I'm seeing like a figure kneeling in my room, and when I go to like turn around to see their face, it's just like they swivel in place, and I can't look them in the eye or like them. I'm just feeling them all the time.
I think you're in the middle of a meeting with someone who says that they have information for you.
Great.
And you are a dead man walking. You can barely keep your eyes from blurring out. Juliet and Valkos, you can of course be there as well if you choose. Do you want to be there as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this woman is small, has very short spiked hair, is wearing very little clothing. It's summer in Severos, so she's going about like almost in like what you'd call like a sword and sorcery leather bikini kind of a deal with like a weapon hanging off of her. She doesn't look to be full Severosi. She looks like she might be, have part Severosi heritage, part Akarosi heritage. And she introduces herself as Kila. I have information that I think that you would definitely like.
Well, I know that this sort of thing doesn't normally doesn't come for free.
That's right. Yes. If you want to know what I know, you are going to have to pay up. But trust me, you are going to want to know what I know.
And
someone has been asking for you.
Okay. How much?
Say a coin?
It's always just a coin, isn't it?
What about a favor?
A favor? The only favor I can think of is money.
You're funny. I like you. Okay. So you have information, yes?
Very important to you. You're one of the ones who just came on a boat from Akaros, right? See, I know about you. So you know I have information that you want.
Yes. And tell me, what's your name again?
Kila.
Kila. How much do you know about us?
Well, that's why we're here. Standing behind her, Alden, you see a former business associate. And you remember standing there, doing nothing, as he stood at the edge of a cliff, overlooking the sea. Look, I'm good for the money. You don't have to do this. Come on. Alden, tell them. They don't have to do this. I can make it up. I've got some irons in the fire. Alden, tell them to put the guns away.
And I turn away. I barely know the men.
Come. And right there in the bar, but also on the side of this cliff, you watch his body fall back. And as if he is smashing down into the waters, the rocky waters below, he smashes into the floor of the bar, and the tile of the bar goes up like rocks and waves on the shore as he sinks down into it.
And the little cigar that was in Alden's mouth just kind of like falls out and is burning a hole in his jacket.
Alden.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Is there a problem?
I flip her a coin. Listen, tell us what you need to know, and we'll get over with this and move on. I kind of look at Alden like, man, get your fucking shit together, dude.
Yeah. Too right.
There's a ship in from Akaros. A noble's ship. It is looking for 2 recently arrived people from Doskvol. Someone who matches the description of a very large, scarred and tattooed Severosi man, and someone who matches a very pale Akarosi woman wearing all black. They've been asking around at the Jade Paw. They are also looking for someone very pale, talks like a low-class Doskvolian, a former circus performer, something like that.
Fuck you. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
No, sorry, it was a slip of the tongue.
I guess we are done.
Did she come alone?
Yes.
No, she's got company. He's gesturing to an empty corner.
She eyes Alden warily and is like, do not cast any hexes on me. I see your evil eye. Thank you for the coin. We are done here.
I sort of say quickly to Valkos, how do we know she will not be bought to sell us out right now?
Well, that's the thing, my love. I am already on it.
You are friends with the bear tongue, yes?
I look at her and I'm like, yes, we are.
That is why I came to you. I am a sister of the bear tongue. You're welcome. See to your friend, he's had too much trance powder.
I turn to Alden and kind of like once she sort of turns to walk out, and kind of slap him about a bit and like, hey, what is going on? Are you good? Do you need something? I pull out some spark.
No, I've had too much. It's the only thing keeping me standing.
Okay. What's going on? What are you seeing?
Sounds like you and your friend. Well, friend. You're more than friends, aren't you? You two lovebirds. Have a past, Maybe someone from your past is looking for you, it sounds like.
That said, I have ghost mind, always aware of supernatural entities, so when I say, what do you see, I sort of look in the area that Alden was looking.
Yeah, and you can see my eyes shifting over to the corner. In Irondale, everyone has a past.
I assume that we do. Is yours here catching up with you as well?
Juliet, you are using ghost mind, is that what you said?
Yeah.
You see a small crowd of spirits in the ghost field surrounding Alden Sykes. And they are so clear to you. There is a woman in the habit of the Church of Ecstasy. There is a man in kind of a cheap suit, his chest riddled with bullet fire. There is a tall, dark Severosi woman with a braided ponytail carrying blades, and they are all swirling about him.
What have you done? It matters not. I think you might be in danger here. We must do something about this. Vargos, Can
What's
you
going on?
speak with them? That their spirits all about Alden.
I kind of look to Alden. I'm like, come with me. And I think, would I, Jem, would I know of like a local whisperer?
Well, actually,
This is what
you wouldn't. And in fact, you realize that in order to get one, you'll have to use a downtime activity to acquire an asset.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know this. I know Irondale. And I look, I kind of almost like push your hands away from me. And I look back at Juliet. It's like, and I kind of look in your eye, cock my head. You see them? You see what I see? If we're going to work in the future, if we are going to have something more than a partnership, if this is a crew, and all I ask from you is one thing, and I kind of get down on your level, never ask me what I've done. And I will use my downtime to find help.
Okay, so you're gonna be the one to acquire the asset, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So acquiring an asset, you gain temporary use of an asset. In this case, it'll be the services of a whisper who can kind of exorcise these spirits from you. To acquire the asset, roll the crew's tier. You guys are tier 2 strong. And the results will indicate the quality of the asset you get.
All right, so I roll two dice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Oh, I rolled a 6.
Mate, you're bloody rolls today.
Yeah, killing it.
Alden is a lucky boy. I'm
You
a
get
lucky boy.
A tier +1, so you get a 3rd tier whisper to help you.
Oh, hell
Do you
yeah.
go to a whisper who is an expatriate, someone from outside of Severos, or do you go to someone who is a native of Severos? They have very, very different beliefs and ways of practicing their art form.
Right. Alden's been here long enough that he goes, I think, to a actually, here's how I want to play this. I feel like what you saw there was a panoply of people on both sides of a conflict. Like a former partner that I let get shot. I gave up. A Severosi warrior woman who led her band against the Akros Empire, and I told them exactly where her camp was. I've played too many sides of this. Looking at the map of Severos, just to the south on John Harper's map in the book are the Dagger Isles. Mm-hmm. So I would guess that there's a contingent of immigrants from there as well here.
Yes.
And I want to go to one of their whispers, one of their holy men or women to give me the purge. Someone with less of an iron who if they see what I see, where I won't lose face with them as much, maybe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. So you're going to go to someone from the Dagger Isles, and they are a tier 3 whisper, this person. So where do you think you find them? Do they have their own shop, or do you think that they are someone who doesn't advertise themselves? They are mid-level in power, so they are someone of some repute.
Let's say if it's an immigrant population, maybe they've kind of capitalized particular industries or work here, and there's like a little district where they are, and
Yes.
It's the kind of thing where I go into a private residence, and there's like an old woman down there who just kind of like nods at me and like looks up, and I'm like going up into
Right.
almost an attic room.
It's actually not a house. It's a sort of a tenement.
Yeah.
That has been hastily erected in this sort of colonial town, and you are in a part of the Irondale that they just call Dagger Town, because it's got people from the Dagger Isles in it. Basically, you get to the 4th or 5th floor. They go up really high, considering that they look like a strong Severosi wind will blow them over, these buildings. And you go into a room where there is a woman who has, like 4 or 5 children, actually 5 children in the room, including a baby that she is kind of holding. And this, you think, is the woman you are supposed to meet. Her name is Gretchen.
Oh, I love it. Oh. Yes, asked round heard you were the woman to say. I've got a dark follower. Several. No, legions. They won't let me sleep. I haven't slept tonight, and it feels like a week. They reach into my mind, and I see them waking and sleeping.
Yes. I can see that you are burdened. One moment. And she hands the baby off to the eldest daughter and says, "Follow me." And takes you into a back room where you can see that there is a lot of accoutrement of whispering, the whisper trade. And she pulls a mask down off the wall, which whispers normally use when they are conducting their trade. And her mask looks kind of like a Roman depiction of a Cupid, or a sort of like a minor demigod or something like that. And she puts that on, and then once she puts that on, she goes, "Now we can begin the process of ridding you of these hangers on." And she pulls out long sticks of a sort of acrid smelling root or plant, and she lights them, and she begins kind of spreading the smoke around you. And then she says, "I see them. They became tangled with you. Were you in the Deathlands?"
Yes, I was. I slept in the Deathlands, and they came into my mind. I left the door open to them, and they walked into my mind. Get them out.
Yes, very tangled. Tied around you to the really sensitive bits. You can feel them pulling on you, can't you? She begins making herself busy with some thread, some yarn on the table in front of her, and then forms like a cat's cradle in the yarn. And then puts it forward to you and says, "Pull right there."
I take the thread and begin to pull it.
And then she moves her hands and it forms a completely new configuration. And then she's like, "Pull there." Now
I'm drawing it toward me.
Pull. And you now both just have like fistfuls of thread, and you've pulled it really tight, and she's going, "Ah!" And suddenly in the dark room, all of the spirits are like, "Ah!" And they've been pulled into the room with you. "Ah!" They're like, "You left me to die!" And she's like, "Quiet!" And then she pulls up a pair of scissors. And she goes, "Snip, snip, love. Snip, snip." And she goes, "Trap." And he goes, "No, my friend." And then the Severosi woman is like, "I loved you, and what to snip?" And she's gone.
This is so good.
The woman in the nun's habit is like, you owe me, Sykes, you slip! And she's gone.
Oh my god.
She pulls off the mask.
Oh, I love this.
That'll be 1 coin, love.
Oh, I love this.
Do I have 1 coin?
We'll give you a coin from the vault. We'll
Wait,
get over here and
wait.
spend that.
Did I spend
spent
that?
it.
I spend that to get the contract.
We'll give you a coin from the vault.
Yeah.
You will?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we want you to be, in fighting shape, right?
yeah.
We'll
Very
send you off
kind.
with a coin.
Very kind. I have like the money in a little pile, and the thread still dangling from my fingers. I just slide it across the floor to her.
Very good. Okay, so let me just say, Alden, you have acquired your asset, and you have paid to have the spirits removed from you. You are no longer a victim of the unquiet dead. You can operate as normal now.
Awesome. And I want to say that she takes the thread and or weaves it into a little bracelet that it's now on my wrist. It's like a little
Reminder.
spirit bane charm remainder thing.
Yes.
What's her name?
Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Gretchen?
Yeah. And so she takes you back out into her small, tenement apartment and takes the baby up again and says, remember, send more people on to me if anybody's of need.
I meet a great many people in my line of work. I'll send them your way. Maybe I even have a bottle of mushroom spirits from the steel hoof, and I leave that there. Consider that a gratuity for your trouble. Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to sleep for 1,000 years. And I walk out of the tenement and up to my little abode above the steel hoof, and I crash out with a blissful smile on my face.
Very well done. All right, that is handled. We have completed that transaction. And now, who would like to take a downtime activity next?
Do we need to do experience?
Yeah, what about our XP?
Oh boy, XP. No, we'll save that for next time because we only have a couple minutes left, and it's sort of it's just bookkeeping.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go and obviously stress relief. For one of my 3.
Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna go and hang out with ghosts.
Right after...
Are you sure? What they were
Don't
saying
worry.
about...
It'll
I don't
be
want
fine.
anything-
I'll be fine. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. It'll be fine.
They seemed very convinced about what happens to people.
Yes. Remember, my love, this is where I learned where to hang out with ghosts. And I sort of make my way out.
So, if I may, I'd like to suggest how you get your fix here in Irondale.
So, go on, please.
Well, instead of lightning barriers, there are some lightning barriers around the city center. And I mean just the government buildings that house the imperial military and the colonial governor and things like that. But the majority of the city of Irondale is actually outside of lightning barriers. But they pay the Silvernails, the mercenary company, to sort of patrol the perimeter, dispatching ghosts. And if you were to say pay off, and I don't think that necessarily has to be one whole coin or anything, pay off a Silvernail warrior, then they might let a ghost get in.
I think that's the case. I think maybe I would, essentially pay off or, talk to a Silvernail and be like, I want to prove myself, my worth as a Severosi. Give me the chance to wrestle a spirit myself, hands-on, you know, and like kind of, you know, I'm appealing to their pride, and as the pride of being a Severosi, to kind of, again, get my way with a spirit.
Great. He points to a hill right outside of the city. So, you know, most of Severos is really flat with like swaying golden grass, you know. I mean, parts of it have been destroyed by the cataclysm, where there are like holes in the earth, or like clefts where the land itself was riven by disastrous forces. But there is a hill that's kind of overlooking the city of Irondale, and he points that way and says, I haven't been up there in a while.
And I make my way over.
You, Valkos, without having to attune, get a very strong feeling of a spiritual presence at the top of this hill. There's an old gnarled tree, and the trees here are very different from in Doskvol as well. And, you know, in Doskvol, a lot of the trees are artificial or poisonous, and this thing is petrified. I said that they make things out of petrified wood here. This thing is as hard as stone, gnarled and hanging over the top of the hill.
Okay. I kind of, as I go up to the tree, I can feel this presence, and I sort of, you know, say, come out, wherever you are. I know you're here. What are you? Where are you? Who are you?
And we have established that instead of letting them ride him and losing time, Valkos now sort of just communes with them, right? Communicates with them.
Yeah.
And we established also that it depends on the amount of stress that he has relieved, how well he is able to connect with them, right?
Yes.
So why don't we go ahead and roll?
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. A 5, and I'm going to add 2 to make that 7.
How are you adding 2?
With my calculating functioning vice, sorry.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you remove 7
So
stress.
good.
How much stress did you have?
I had 8. I was like close. So I'm like, I had 1 stress away from like getting a trauma. So I've now got 1 stress left.
A Severosi shaman appears to you. Naked, sitting cross-legged under the tree, tattooed, scarred, gray hair put up in a kind of elaborate fashion, a breather under his nose, but he is clearly dead. And shaman are not supposed to linger. They're supposed to be the spiritual leaders of the Severosi war bands. So this one probably made some sort of holy infraction against the beliefs of the Severosi, kind of like you were known to do.
I'm like, I go up and I'm like, fascinating. I sit down. You're a shaman.
Yes. And we share a soul. Look. And suddenly you are looking like into a mirror. You are looking at Valkos.
What? Why are you here?
You have put your hand forward a little bit, and you notice that it is old and withered and covered with tattoos you don't recognize. And you realize you are the old shaman.
Well, I'm here because, obviously, you're here. And it's because you are here that I am here. And this seems to be... No, wait. And I kind of let go and I'm like, no. Tell me why you are here.
And Valkos says to you, to teach you things you already know.
Yes. To teach me. To teach me what I already know? Well, I know many things. But you also know nothing.
Well, our people have turned away from the old practices. Yes, we once killed spirits, but sometimes we let them fill us, experience through us, and strengthen us. Yes.
Yes, that is what we do. For it is foolish to just block the idea, to stop at an idea of thinking that they are hindrances. They are the way forward. They are simply a way forward in life. Yes.
I will teach you the forgotten ways. If you keep the silver nails off my back, yes?
Silver nails. They are of no worry to you, Bossa. And as I say Bossa, it's again a Severosi term of respect for the older.
We share one soul. And he caresses you and then says, grandson. And he doesn't mean literally, but he means that he considers you a grandson because everybody is related in the warband in some way.
Totally.
Brothers, sisters, mother, father. But now the connection has weakened me. Come back again and know that you are a truer Severosi than those who seek to destroy the spirits.
Okay.
Oh, man.
And that's where we'll end it for today.
So good.
Magic.
So good.
That's Haunted City.
This guy's getting rid of spirits. This guy's riding them.
What is the
boy.
deal with all these spirits? Come back to find out. Thank you, Josephine McAdam, Abu Salim, and Ross Bryant. We'll have more action in Severos next time. Good night, everybody.